Hello everybody, welcome to Britcent's live stream with me, Stephanie. Welcome to Mohammed, hello. I don't think I've seen you here before, so welcome if you're new. Hi to Beatrice, how are you? Hi Aidan and hello Lily. How are you guys? And hello to Sonia, welcome back. Thank you guys for joining me today. Hello to Chan. Hello to the next person on the list. I can't read your name, but hello. Thank you for joining us. How are you guys? Anything interesting going on with you at the moment? Here in the UK, it's business as usual, I would say. We've had some interesting news stories recently. I think last week I spoke about Meghan and Harry's big interview. This week, unfortunately, we've had some protests in London because police have been using too much force with protesters. So that's a very big story this week. You might have heard about it. So yeah, it's kind of taking the spotlight off coronavirus for the moment. Beatrice, I'm glad you're okay. I'm very well, thank you. All's going well over here. Hello to Simi, welcome. I don't think I've seen you here before either. And hello to AR, welcome. And yeah, I'm doing very well. Hope everyone else is as well. Today is the 16th of March. So tomorrow is the 17th of March, which is, does anybody know? St. Patrick's Day. St. Patrick is the patron saint of Ireland. So normally on St. Patrick's Day, Irish people all around the world celebrate this day by drinking a lot of Guinness, wearing green, because green is the St. Patrick's Day colour, and just, you know, enjoying themselves, having fun. I don't think that's happening at the moment because of COVID-19, unfortunately. But yeah, even in London, it's a big thing, St. Patrick's Day, a good excuse to party, basically. Do you celebrate St. Patrick's Day in your countries normally? Does anyone do anything on this day? Yeah, that happens every year on the 17th of March. Hello to Vi. I hope I'm pronouncing your name correctly. Welcome to you. Yes, Sanyang, it's spelled the second way, St. Patrick's Day. Yeah, Patrick we sometimes shorten to Paddy, St. Paddy. So you might have heard people saying that as well. Chan says, I've never heard of that before. Oh, okay. Look it up. Yeah, Google it. St. Patrick's Day. It's a big celebration for the Irish, but all over the world they celebrate it as well. I remember when I lived in Malta, which, in case you didn't know, is a small island in the Mediterranean Sea. They celebrate St. Patrick's Day every year. All the streets are full of people drinking, partying, dancing. Yeah, it's got nothing to do with Ireland, but Malta's got nothing to do with Ireland, but they love celebrating St. Patrick's Day. I'm guessing this year the celebrations are off, but that's usually what happens. Yeah. What else did I want to say? Oh yes, I wanted to give a shout out actually to my best friend Claudia, because it's her birthday today, and it's a big birthday. It's the big 40. And if she's watching this, I just wanted to say happy birthday once again to my best friend Claudia. You're famous on YouTube now. Beatrice says, I'd like to see the St. Patrick's Day parade. Oh yeah, me too. I've never actually been to Ireland I've never been to Ireland. I've been to Northern Ireland, but I've never been to Dublin or anywhere like that. So yes, I'd also like to see the parade. Yeah, that's him. Sun Young says it's also celebrated in front of the Irish Embassy in Korea. Oh, there you go. Charlotte says, congratulations. You're all saying happy birthday to my friend Claudia. Oh, thank you. I'll have to make sure that she watches this and sees your comments. Yeah, it's difficult having a lockdown birthday. Lots of people have been having birthdays in lockdown, and finding kind of creative ways to celebrate. Mostly eating. People send cakes, biscuits, brownies to their house, flowers, things like that, because there's nothing open at the moment. But that will be changing soon in England. I believe it's on the 17th of April. That's going to be the day when, I think it's the 17th, restaurants, cafes, and non-essential shops are going to be opening. So we can have a belated celebration. Beatrice says Sunday's going to be your birthday. Ooh, happy birthday for Sunday, Beatrice. I hope you enjoy your day and you get spoilt by everyone around you. That would be lovely. Have a lovely day. Oh, thank you, Sun Young. I will tell her. So guys, today we're going to be talking about idioms. So we'd best get started because I want to teach you, similar to last week where I taught you 7 useful phrasal verbs. If you didn't watch me last week, have a look later on our YouTube channel. You should be able to find the video. And yeah, so this week I thought I'd do 7 again, but this time idioms. So if you're unsure what an idiom is, it's basically an expression that we use in everyday life. And the expression is not, it doesn't mean exactly what it says. So you might have an expression which doesn't make any sense when you see it, but it has like an alternate meaning, basically. This is an idiom. For example, one idiom that we've talked about before on this stream when we were talking about health and illness is under the weather. So if you say, I'm feeling under the weather, of course, under the weather doesn't really make any sense on its own. But if you know this idiom, this expression, you will know that under the weather means that you're feeling unwell. You're not feeling like your usual self, basically. Okay? So that's a good expression, a good idiom to know about health. So we're going to be talking about other British idioms that we use in daily life, not necessarily related to health. They're just kind of random idioms that I found that we use very, very often. So hopefully they will be useful. You might have heard of some of them, or you might not. So I want you to tell me whether you've heard them before, whether you know what they mean, etc. Okay. So I think we should get started with the idioms. So as usual, I'm going to be showing you my kind of presentation that I've prepared for today. VJ, I think it's VJ, right? Says to keep a straight face. Yes, that's a very good idiom. Well done. That's it. Sun Young says, is it a presentation as well today? I love it. I'm glad you do. Thank you. Yeah, I thought it would be clearer to show you the idioms this way. So let's get started with our first idiom. Now, I thought I'd make it a little bit more fun by showing you some pictures. And I want you to tell me if you can guess what the idiom is. I got this idea from a television program that's very popular in the UK. It's called Catchphrase. I love it, especially because I love language. And on this TV show, basically the contestants are shown a picture, a moving picture usually, and they have to guess what the expression is. So what is the English idiom or expression? So I took my inspiration from there for this. Not quite the same, but similar kind of idea. Sujung says it seems to be upgraded. Yes, we've upgraded now. And you like blue, Sunyang? Yeah, I thought it was a Britcent colour. So let's move to our first one, number 1. Here we go. So here we have the picture. So imagine you're on this TV show, Catchphrase. Which idiom do you think that this image is showing? Okay. Let me know in the chat if you have an idea. If you need a clue, I can give you another clue. But write in the chat if you have an idea what this expression is from the picture. Aidan says Stephanie is tech savvy. I'm getting more tech savvy. Yeah, thank you. So what do you think about this one? Aidan says keep an eye on. It's not keep an eye on, but that is a very good idiom as well. It does include the word I, however. Okay, we have an answer from Young. Well done. Young Un, I think that's pronounced. See eye to eye. Very good. Very good. So I've given you this as an extra clue, but you've already got the answer. So well done on that. The missing words are eye to eye. See eye to eye. Okay. So does anybody know what this idiom means? When do we use this expression, see eye to eye? What do you think it means? Give me a suggestion in the chat. Perhaps you've heard of it before. Okay, Young says to be on the same page. Yes, that's very similar. That's also a very good idiom. Good. And Aidan says to agree with each other. Yes, basically. Yeah, and Sun Young, they have the same thinking. Yeah, this is basically the idea. So if you see eye to eye with someone, you both have very similar attitudes and you agree with each other on things. So you got it right, guys. Yeah, well done. So you see eye to eye with someone, okay? Or you could say that we, so me and him or me and her, we see eye to eye, okay? You can use it that way. And this is the definition here. Well done, guys. You got it right. Hello to H. Welcome. All right. So have you heard this expression before? Do you have a similar expression in your own languages? Perhaps you use the same expression, or maybe you use a different part of the body. I'm not sure. Let me know if you have a similar type of idiom. Yeah. It's a very good idiom. You can use it in everyday life to talk about, you know, opinions that you share with your friends or with your colleagues, with your boss, anyone really. Let me give you some examples in sentences. So take a look at these ones. Hello to Mohammed. Welcome. Thank you for joining us. And hello to Ari. It's the first time you're joining us. Oh, I'm glad you have. I hope you enjoy it. Welcome. Here we go. So here we have the first example. Luckily, my partner and I see eye to eye on most things. Okay, meaning we have the same attitude, we have the same opinion on most things, most matters. And then we have a negative one. For example, he doesn't see eye to eye with his boss about the new working conditions. Okay, so you can use it in the negative form. We don't see eye to eye, okay, on something. Or I don't see eye to eye with him or her, etc. Okay, so this is a really useful one. Right, so that was our first one. We're now moving on to idiom number 2. Okay, Sun Young says, I got it. Okay, good. So you've understood this idiom. Well done. I'm glad. Obviously, always let me know, guys, if you have any questions in the chat. So moving on to idiom number 2. Okay, this one is a little bit different. I didn't put a picture because I couldn't find a very good one. So instead, I've just given you the idiom. Let me know if you have any idea what it means. So to get your head around something, or you could say round something. Okay. Has anyone heard this before? What do you think it could mean? If you need a clue, I can put it in a sentence for you. You could say, your plan is so complicated, I can't get my head round it. I can't get my head around it. So some of you are suggesting things. Julie, to understand something. Basically, yeah, guys, yeah, that's right. To understand something, to be able to understand something or accept something. That's kind of the meaning of this, yeah. Aidan says, that's something I have used a lot. Okay, yeah, that it is very useful. So here is the explanation I've given. So it's usually obviously something difficult, okay? So we often say, I can't get my head around this, meaning I simply can't understand it. It's too difficult, okay? It could be understanding or it could be accepting something. So for example, if, hopefully this never happened, but if one of your friends who is very young passes away, for example, you obviously, oh, I hit my laptop. Sorry, yeah, so if a young person passes away, dies, you might find it very difficult to accept this situation. So you could say, I just can't get my head around it. I can't accept what has happened, okay? So it could be like that, or it could be actually, actually understanding something in terms of knowledge. So Beatrice says, I didn't know this idiom. Yeah, this is one you should definitely know. It's a really good one, very useful. I'll show you some sentences. So the first one I already kind of told you. This plan is so complicated. I'm still trying to get my head around it. Okay, so notice I've highlighted it because you get your head round something. You need to have an object after this idiom. Obviously, it in this case is referring back to the word plan. And then the other one, I finally got my head round this chapter in my calculus textbook. Okay, so you finally understood this chapter. So again, we've highlighted chapter because you need an object. In this case, chapter is the object. Obviously, calculus is quite difficult for most people, so you might have trouble getting your head around it. I'm sure I would. So it's a good one to use. So we often use it in the negative form. We often say, I can't get my head around this, or I haven't got my head around this yet. Yeah. Aidan says, yes, I normally use it in a negative context. Exactly, yeah, it's often used in the negative context. That's right. Julie has asked a question. Can I say, I can't get my head around his naughty behaviour? Yes, you could say that. Yeah, that would work. Yeah. Or I can't get my head around why he's behaving so badly, for example. So you could have a phrase as well instead of a noun, a clause, let's say. So yeah. Very good. Any questions about this? Sanyang says, I've got my head around this idiom. Good. Yeah, perfect. Well done. Very good. You're welcome, Julie. No problem at all. So let's move on to idiom number 3. Okay, similar to idiom number 1, I'm going to show you a little picture, a little cartoon, with the help of our little friend, perhaps you're familiar with, Snoopy. So, any idea what idiom this is, guys? Sanyang says, drum rolling. Drum roll, that's what we say, yes. Number 3 is this one. Any ideas what the idiom is? Let me know. If you need a clue, I can always give you one. Julie says, snoop around. No, it's not snoop around. What's happened to him? Beatrice has got it. Very good. It's an expression that we use, an idiom. We use it on its own. And very good, guys. Beatrice, you got it. Sue, you got it. The answer is break a leg. Well done. So poor Snoopy has broken his leg. Okay. And the expression that I wanted to show you here is break a leg. That's it. Break a leg. So obviously, like every other idiom, it doesn't mean that I want you to break your leg, okay? When do we use this? Any ideas when we say this expression, break a leg? What situations would you use it in? Let me know in the chat if you have any suggestions. Julie has suggested something. Julie says, good luck. Very good. Well done. Yes, that is correct. So the meaning of this idiom, break a leg, is good luck. So we use it on its own as an expression to wish somebody luck. Okay. Now, traditionally, this idiom was used specifically for actors when before they go on stage, yeah, they would wish each other good luck. Instead of saying good luck, they would say break a leg. Okay, this is used before going on stage, traditionally. However, I would say that nowadays we use it for other things. So it's not only used in the theatre when someone's about to go on stage, but we also use it for other situations where you might need luck. For example, maybe you're going to do an exam, or maybe you're going to have a job interview or something like that. So you can say break a leg. Okay, you can wish someone luck by saying break a leg. But originally it came from the theatre. And I did a little bit of research on this in case you're interested in where this came from, because it's quite an unusual thing to say to someone. You know, if you've never heard it before, it's quite unusual. There's a lot of information about this online and lots of possible reasons for this idiom. Again, like, I don't know which one is true, but I chose two that I want to share with you. Basically, one possible origin of this expression is that when actors would go on stage, they considered it bad luck to say good luck to someone, because they there was a superstition in the theatre that if you wished somebody something on stage, it would have the opposite effect. So if you said good luck before they went on stage, when they were on stage, it would turn into the opposite. It would turn into bad luck. So instead, they had to come up with another way of wishing each other luck before going on stage. And they came up with this expression, break a leg. Because obviously, if you go on stage and the opposite happens, you don't break a leg. You don't actually break a leg. So that was one possibility of where this came from. I don't know whether this is true or not, but it's one of the possibilities. The other one was, and I quite like this one, I must say, in ancient Greece and even in the Elizabethan times, whenever they had a theatrical performance on stage, if the audience really loved the performance, they would often kind of bang their chairs on the ground in order to clap, to applause. So when they banged their chairs on the ground, the legs of the chairs would sometimes break in the process. So obviously, if you're an actor, you would love for the audience to break the legs of their chairs, because that would mean that they're really enjoying your performance on stage. So these are the two superstitions I've heard. Let me know if you think one of them is probably more true than the other. Or if you've heard anything else. I don't know if you say this in your own languages as well. Some of you are saying it makes sense, and yeah, it's all about superstitions. We have a lot of superstitions. You probably know if you watched my colleague Flora on Friday. She talked about superstitions not long ago. So yeah, this is one of them. Kyung says, I hope to break my legs. All right, so I'll show you some examples, how you can use it. Here we go. So our first example, imagine your friend Adam is going to go on stage and do, you know, some sort of performance. You could say, I hope the performance goes well, Adam. Break a leg. Or in more recent times, you could say, I've got my driving test tomorrow. Oh, break a leg. Okay, so you're wishing that other person luck. with these important moments. Now, I'm interested to know, in your countries, do you have a similar expression? Do you have, like, instead of saying good luck, do you have any sort of other expression or idiom that you use in your languages? I'd be very interested to know this. So please share it with us in the chat if you do. I know that in Italian, they have an expression which is in bocca al lupo, which means in the mouth of the wolf. I don't know why they say this, but they often say it as a wish of good luck before somebody does something. So yeah, let me know if you have similar ones in your languages. I'd love to know about that. Vijay says, not in India. Okay, fair enough. Sue says, we say fighting for those situations. So do you say to someone, fight, like that? Like before their exam, you say, fight, come on. Yeah. Sun Yang says, not that I know of, I want to know. But you're reminded of fighting. There you go. Okay, yeah, that makes sense, I guess. Like you're preparing for battle, I guess. And Julie says it's really fun to learn idioms and their origins. Yeah, I think they're quite fun as well. Yeah, I agree with you. I'm glad you like this. Right, guys, I think we'd best move on to our next idiom because we've got a few more to go. So we've just done number 3, so we're moving on to number 4. So here we go, another cartoon. Does anybody recognize this? Does anyone have any idea what the expression could be? Let me know in the chat if you're familiar with this. What is he doing? Where is he? That's the clue. Where is the boy? Well done. Very good. We already have one answer in, which is correct. Very good. Yeah, sky. You got it right. Very good. And the answer is on the ball. There you go. On the ball. Very good, guys. Julie says, I like this expression. Yes, I like it too. Kyung says, on an egg. I like that. I like that. That's funny. It's not actually an egg. It's meant to be a ball. The expression is on the ball. So the meaning of on the ball, let's have a look. So to be on the ball. So you can say he is on the ball or she is on the ball. All right. This is a very positive idiom, okay, because it means that the person you're talking about is very smart and they are aware of what's going on. They can understand things. They can react very quickly. So it's actually a compliment. If somebody ever says that you're on the ball, it's a compliment, all right? Because it means that you are very efficient and you are very alert, yeah? So you know exactly what's going on. You don't kind of miss things or make lots of mistakes. So it's a very positive idiom. So here are some examples using on the ball. Julie says, I've heard this compliment. I hope they were saying this to you. It's a great compliment, yeah. So, first example, she's really on the ball and rarely makes a mistake at work. And the other example, the new marketing manager is really on the ball. Okay, so if you say that, everybody will understand that that person you're talking about is really smart, really quick, really efficient. They know what they're doing, basically. Sue says, oh, we call it nunchi. Oh, that's a nice word, nunchi. So is this like a kind of word or is it kind of a concept here? We use it a lot at work. So we often say people are on the ball when we talk about people, you know, in the workplace. I guess you could also use it to talk about studying. or you know, somebody's mental capacity, I guess. Chan says it's a word. Ah, so you would say he is nunchi, maybe something like that in Korea. Yeah, this is a really good one. Yeah, I would use this quite often to compliment someone. Yeah. I'm probably pronouncing nunchi incorrectly. All right, so we're going to move on to our next one. Let me know if you have any questions about on the ball, because we're moving on to number 5. Okay, Suliang says it's correct. That's good. All right, guys, so let's move on to number 5. Number 5, do we have a picture? Yeah, we do. We have a picture. Okay, let me know. Here we go. Any idea what idiom this one is? Let me know in the chat if you have a suggestion. Sky has a question about on the ball and says, we can say on the ball about something? No, we only use it for people. We say somebody is on the ball. Okay. All right. So we've got some answers for this cartoon. Well done, guys. Sky says bad breath. That's funny. Actually, it's the correct answer. Sanyang, you suggested it first. Well done. And Julie, good job. The answer is speak of the devil. So if you notice, the lady is speaking. She's got this bubble. And the thing she's speaking about, or the person she's speaking about, is the devil. Speak of the devil. So this is a very good common expression. You can also say talk of the devil. So you might hear people say speak of the devil or talk of the devil. Like this. It's similar to break a leg, so it's an expression on its own, so you don't need to add anything after it. Okay, so it just kind of works alone, this idiom. Now, does anybody know when we use this expression? Let me know if you have any suggestions. When would you say speak of the devil? Can you give me an example of when you might use this? Let me know if you have any idea. Foodie, welcome. I'm late, such a terrible student. That's all right, I forgive you, don't worry. You're here at last. Don't worry about it. So, Aidan says, in an unexpected time. Okay, what happens in an unexpected time? You're kind of halfway there. What is the reason for using this? Foodie has a suggestion. When you talk about someone else and they just turn up. Yes, that's exactly it. Chan says, she's coming when I say, oh, she's coming, speak of the devil. Someone comes when I say, yes, exactly, guys. So basically, we say this expression when you're talking about someone or you're mentioning someone and then suddenly they appear. Okay? So, yeah, it could be that they appear, you know, like they come in the room just when you're talking about them or when you've just spoken about them. But we also use it when, you know, you're talking about someone and then maybe that person phones you in that moment or sends you an email or sends you a text message. So there's some kind of contact with the same person that you're actually talking about. Okay? So we use this expression to indicate that this has happened, basically. And I also looked up the reason for this. It's quite an old idiom because apparently it traces back to the 16th century. Yeah, so like 1500s. And it's actually the short version of the full idiom. The full idiom is speak of the devil and he shall appear. Okay. which is basically what we're talking about here. Yeah. And basically in the old times, in the 16th century, there was a kind of prohibition, meaning like it wasn't allowed to talk about the devil. Okay, so no talking about or mentioning the devil. Okay, so probably they thought that if you speak about the devil, he will appear, and obviously you don't want the devil to appear, right? So that's where it comes from. Obviously, we don't mean, nowadays, we don't mean to say that the person you're talking about is a devil. It's not a bad thing. It's just an expression that we use. And we just say, speak of the devil. Okay. Julie says, oh, even on the phone. Yeah, it could be. Yeah, so it could be maybe I'm talking with my friend and then about my other friend. And then suddenly that other friend phones me. I'm like, oh, speak of the devil. We were just talking about you. Okay. So yeah, pretty interesting. I've written a couple of examples here. Take a look. Let me know if you have any questions about this, of course. So imagine you're talking about Alice with another person and then Alice walks into the room. You say, oh, well, speak of the devil. Here's Alice now. Or we've just been speaking about Tom and speak of the devil. He's just sent me an email. Chan has a question. Can we say that expression in a positive way? Yes, I mean, it's not negative. It's just a neutral expression. Okay, so it doesn't mean anything bad. It's just it's a kind of a way of showing surprise that this coincidence has happened. All right. And then we have Aiden who says we have the same expression in South Korea and we use the tiger instead of the devil. Oh, interesting. Okay. Very interesting. Nice. Mohammed has put some funny little emojis there. Exactly. That's exactly it. So yeah, this is a really good one. Remember, it doesn't mean that you're insulting anyone. It's not rude. It's not negative. It's just an expression we use to show we are surprised that this has happened, basically. We're surprised to see the person we've just been talking about. Because it's almost like they read our mind, you know? All right, so moving on. We've got 2 more idioms left. Here we go with number 6. Beatrice says we have this expression in Brazil, but when we are talking about someone we don't like. Oh, interesting. Okay. That's different in English. So it's not when it's someone you don't like. It's just when you're talking about that person. So you could like them or you could not like them. It doesn't make a difference in English. That's very interesting. Right, moving on to number 6. Sun Young said it's fun to use different words depending on what you're afraid of culturally. Yeah, exactly. So I guess in our culture, especially in the 16th century, people were very much afraid of the devil. And maybe they were more religious then than they are now, you see. So perhaps using the word devil in the past was really bad, but nowadays it's not so bad. Right, so number 6, here we go. This is our idiom, to bend over backwards to do something. So if you're obviously bending over backwards, so bend over is normally when you put your head forward. You know, like when you're doing exercises and you want to stretch, you might put your head forward and touch your toes. So that would be bending over. But if you bend over backwards, it means that your head is going back over, which is kind of impossible, right? So what could this mean if you say, I bent over backwards to do that? Julie has given us a suggestion to make great efforts. Very good, Julie. Very good. Yeah. Aidan says, try extremely hard to help somebody. Exactly. Well done, guys. Yeah. The meaning is to try extremely hard to help someone or to please someone. Okay. So if you imagine, it's very difficult to bend over backwards unless you're an Olympic athlete or gymnast or something like that. So because it's difficult, you can imagine, you know, trying hard to do something. or to please someone, to make someone happy. So here we go with some examples. Have a look at the examples. You'll notice I've highlighted the verb because we normally use the infinitive form after that. So you bend over backwards to do something. So, first example, I've bent over backwards to help him, but he hasn't even thanked me. So I've tried really hard to help him, to please him, but he hasn't even said thank you. So we often use it in this way. Another example, he really bends over backwards to accommodate his clients. Accommodate in this case does not mean give his clients a hotel room. So in case you're not sure what accommodate means, it means to make his clients happy, to make them feel happy and comfortable. So he does everything he can to make them happy, basically. Foodie says, how could you bend over backwards? Yoga? Yeah, maybe. Exactly. It's too hard, right? So you're showing that it's like you've put a lot of effort into it. Yeah. Kyung says, I didn't know that thank is a verb. Oh, yes, you can use it as a verb, to thank somebody for something. Yeah. So you might say, oh, can you thank your mother for sending me those beautiful flowers, for example. So you thank someone. Yeah. Very good. So let me know if you have any problems with this, but this is a really good expression to know. And we're going to be moving on to our last one, number 7, before we do our mini quiz. All right, let's move on. The final idiom. Here we go. Number 7. And because it's the final one, I've given you another little cartoon. Any idea what this idiom is? Let me know. Julie says, time really flies. You're right, Julie. It does every week. And that's also an idiom. So well done on using that. Okay, Sky says, walk on the ice. Okay, you're close. Not quite right. What's happening to the ice? What type of ice is it? Okay, I'm going to give you guys a clue. So we've got 2 words missing, on, and one of them is ice, because you got ice correct. What type of ice is she on? If you look at it, it's quite easily breaking. Okay, all right. Well, some of you are kind of getting it kind of right. Not quite the expression. It's not breaking ice. It is to be on thin ice. Thin ice. Good suggestions, though. This is the idiom, to be on thin ice. Now, Sanyang, you said playing without knowing it's dangerous. You're kind of on the right track. It's not exactly playing, though. The meaning of this is... Oh, sorry, let me go back. Yeah, so doing something risky, something that could be dangerous, which may have serious or unpleasant consequences. Okay? To be on thin ice. Now, we often use this not necessarily with, really dangerous things, like physically dangerous things. We often use it with unpleasant situations. For example, if you say that you are on thin ice at work, this means that you must have done something bad at work, and now the trust that your boss has for you is not very strong. So you're on thin ice because you could easily be fired, maybe. Let me give you some examples. Here we go. So we have 2 examples here. Have a look. Let me know if they make sense. So the first one, I'm already on thin ice after making that mistake at work. If I do it again, I might get fired. Or, after failing the maths test again, he was on thin ice with his parents. So meaning that he was basically, in a risky situation, as in he was going to get into trouble, basically. So this is how we use it. Oh, my Siri thinks I've spoken to him. Let me know if this makes sense, guys. Sky says, taking the vaccine looks like being on thin ice. Yeah. I mean, I don't know if I would say it like that, to be honest. We normally would say that somebody is, like a person is on thin ice, not the action is, if you know what I mean. So you normally say, like, I'm on thin ice, he's on thin ice, basically. Julie says, is on thin ice similar to adventurous? No, no, no. It doesn't mean adventurous. It means that that person is close to getting into trouble, basically. So they're in a dangerous or risky situation. Yeah. Kyung says, I have been on thin ice in my whole life. How about this? Yeah, that works. Just don't say in, just say my whole life. Okay. I've been on thin ice my whole life. That means that you've been getting into trouble a lot, basically. Okay. So we often use it for people who get into trouble, do things wrong, and then they're going to suffer the consequences of this. All right. So those are the 7 idioms, guys. Well done on getting through that list. I could see some of them you were familiar with, but some were new. So that's good. Good to have a mix. We've got a little bit of time left, a couple of minutes. So before we go, let's do our usual mini quiz. Let me know if you're ready to answer a couple of mini quiz questions related to the idioms that we've covered today. Can I say I'm almost on thin ice, Chan says. You could say that, yes. Yes, you could say that. I would say that. Definitely. Yeah. Or I'm going to be on thin ice, like Julie Park has suggested. Yeah. Okay, it seems like you guys are ready for the mini quiz, so I'm going to get started. Here is the first question. I want you to tell me in the chat what option you think is correct, A, B, or C. The question is, if someone says break a leg to you, what might you be going to do? Option A, go for a job interview, B, decorate your house, or C, go for a run. Which is the correct answer? Write it in the chat if you know. Okay, we have some examples. Well, sorry, examples, some answers. Okay, looks like most of you have got it right. Well done, guys. Well done. You've been listening. You're right. The answer is A, go for a job interview. Well done. And we have to say well done to Sky because Sky was the first person to write it in the chat correctly. So well done to you, Sky. Good job. The answer is A. So before a job interview, someone would say break a leg, meaning good luck. That's it. Well done, well done. Okay. Kyung says, can't I use those all situations? No, not really, because I guess if you're going to decorate your house or go for a run, you don't really need to be wished luck. But if you're going for a job interview, obviously there's a lot kind of riding on that situation. So you really want to get the job, so you need luck. So A would make the most sense. All right, here we go. We've got 2 more questions to go. Second one. Here we go. A, B, or C. In what situation might you say, speak of the devil? A, when you're gossiping about someone and that same person walks into the room. B, when you're talking about someone and that same person sends you a text message. Or C, both A and B. What do you think? Write in the chat which letter you think is correct. Oh, we have some mixed answers this time. Yeah, lots of mixed answers. Oh, it's hard to tell who's got it right. But somebody has got it right here. Aidan, well done. You're the first one to get the right answer. The answer is C. So remember, you can use this not only when you're talking about someone and they come into the room, but you can also use it when somebody sends you a message or an email or phones you, so contacts you somehow. That same person you were talking about contacts you in the moment. You can say, oh, speak of the devil. Well done, Aidan. Very good. Okay, guys, we have one more question in our mini quiz. Here we go. Number 3. What's the answer? A, B, or C? The question is, if someone says they can't get their head around something, they might need A, help, B, a hat, or C, free time. Julie says, Aidan is on the ball. Yes, Julie, that's the exact correct idiom to use for Aidan in this situation. Well done. All right, guys. Yeah, we've got some good answers coming in. Well done. And we have to say well done to Cinny, because Cinny is the first one to get it right. The answer is A. Very good. So if somebody can't get their head around something, they might need help. They might need some sort of assistance with that because they can't understand it. So the answer is A. Well done. Good, guys. Thank you very much for watching today. It's been great fun, but we're sadly out of time. I hope you found this lesson useful and that you will join me next week. Oh no, actually, sorry. I don't want to give you false information. Next week, I'm actually not going to be doing a live stream because I'm moving house. So I'm going to take some time off. So there won't be a live stream with me next week, but I will be here the following Tuesday as usual. Okay. So yeah, I'll miss you next week. However, my colleague Flora is still doing her live stream on Fridays. So you can have a lesson with her on Fridays. It's at 11 a.m. GMT. Thank you guys for your congratulations on my move. Thank you. I'll miss you next week, but I'll let you know all about it when I get into my new house. So yeah, I will see you guys on the, let me give you the date. Write it in your diaries. I'll see you on the 30th of March. Okay. And look out for the topic on YouTube. If you subscribe to the channel and you click reminders on this class, you will never forget it because they always remind you. Okay. So yeah, take care, guys, and I'll see you in a couple of weeks. Bye-bye. Have a lovely week. Take care.